once we got done with the step-ins today, there was some slight adjustments on visual presence in the step-in. Then we went to winds with the 10K. Really, I switched the winds to right side oriented and using the right hip to propel the ball forward on the first wind, and then from there it was a slight adjustment in timing. So I'm waiting for the ball to get around left side before around the left axis before I set my left, and then what I'm looking to do on after the second wind going into the entrance is maintaining my posture, sending the ball out to my right, and then really loading that right hip so I can wedge my right hip underneath my shoulders at the entrance. I'm actually really happy with this position going into the entrance. The hands are slightly ahead of the ball, but the entrance off the second wind is much clearer just because I'm maintaining my posture. My hips are underneath my shoulders, and then it sets up the rest of the throw, being very right side driven, but stable on the left side. So what I'm looking for is this right hip to be able to assist the ball to the line, which is almost at right now, and I'm looking for not just the ball, but my right hip to take me around my left axis. This will set up hang in further turns. It's also going to set up good posture, head over left foot. There's a lot of good things happening in this position. The PR today was certainly the entrance. The winds to the entrance, there was a greater amount of feel. The things that are, of course, needed to be worked on now is the transition in the next turns from 2 to 3 to 4. Just because I have a much clearer distinction of filling the right side in the wind and my right side propelling my body around my left axis. So this is setting up also, another ramification from setting up right side acceleration is there is no reaching at that point. I feel in good position here. There is no cross-leggedness or cross-footedness. I can get straight from that back right corner, and my timing from the heel to the toe of my right foot will set me up really well at the line going into my second entrance. I'm really happy with this. So I believe that once the adjustment was made in the wind, and which fixed the entrance, I believe I had the most success today at maintaining and riding the line with my 10K, not just because it's heavier, but because there's also some drag from the chain as well. Something that I didn't have control over with my 20 simply because it feels like a 5K or a 6K rather, and it's something that is incredibly important because I want to keep the system going. I don't want to prevent myself from from continuing the system as a whole. So right here is when I start allowing myself to turn and with my left foot. So holding a fairly steady left axis, going into single support is something that's really big, but that sets up a really good timing with my hang and single support, and really emphasizing uh, staying with the ball, singing the ball out left so I can see the ball at the catch. I feel like I had a lot of success with the 10K, like I said, just because it was a bit slower, but I would like to get it when it's lighter. So it's a bit falling off here, but going into my split turns from 3 to 4, turns 3 to 4, felt very solid. I'm really happy with the split turns, especially coming off of solid working turns on 1 and 2. Uh, Not maintaining this left axis, of course, as well as I would want to. Don't really care about that. It's just more of an observation than anything. Just because that will come with time. A few other observations is that the 10K and the 35 are really good thinking weights for me, simply because it's a little slower in relation to, of course, the size of the ball and how heavy it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's slow, because I mean, once we get this thing going, it's more so organically happening on its own, and it becomes relatively fast, and accelerates really well. But I think the biggest keys off of my 35 and my 10K is that it is accelerating on its own, and I'm not trying to influence the ball. And so I want my lighter implements to feel like my heavies. I want my 16 to feel like my 35, and I want my 20 to feel like my 10K and my 35. But when I go into the 20, it it's almost like I abuse it. I abuse, and I become a little bit more selfish as far as it feels light now, and then I can do whatever I want with it. I can manipulate the way I want. I want the lighter weights to feel like the heavier weights, and I organically allow them to get faster.